not only because of Apple, but I don't trust that some of the device doesn't exist now or won't be created or invented to capture all this data from this phone. So let's just say that this iWatch 8 was monitoring your blood pressure or monitoring your medicine intake or something. And suddenly the app gets changed or something else gets changed to a remote device that provides medicine to you. All because data got interfered with. Hello, everyone. It's that time for the JMOR Tech Talk Show, where we answer questions about technology, explain the way they should work, and why they don't sometimes. And now here's your host, John C. Morley. Well, hey, everybody, and welcome once again to the JMOR Tech Talk Show. It's always great to be here. And Marcus, we are here on the first Friday of September 2021. It's great to have you here tonight. Welcome.
Happy September and happy Friday.
Yes, and pretty soon we'll be saying happy October and then happy Thanksgiving, right? No pun
Right.
intended. And then happy New Year, right?
Happy New Year's coming. It's coming.
Speaking about things coming, you know, when you talk about doing things for a charity and also, you know, trying to give back to some great people out there, there's a great organization, and we want to thank them for their sponsorship, and that's Everyone Wins Foundation. So that is EVERY, the number one, WINS.org. They have a great platform. We'll tell you a little more about that later in the program, but we want to thank you so much for your sponsorship and choosing to be with JMOR. We know you have a lot of places you can go, and we thank you for putting your investment in our show. And we hope we get you a lot of great listeners and viewers to check you out a little bit later. Well, listen, you know, when we think about, you know, things that are happening now, you know, a lot of us have been in this virtual world, right? I'm sure there's no pun intended on that. And I think the coming joke was always, when you're at home, people say, well, gee, so you don't have to wear pants. Now, I know, Marcus, every time I've been on a virtual call, I just dress up. I don't feel comfortable not wearing pants, but there's a lot of people that they just throw a shirt on and they feel it's okay to get in front of the camera like that.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. And, you know, I think you got to still have some common courtesy here. You know, you got to still consider that like it's still professionalism. Always have to come first.
Exactly. And then when you go to one of these VIP office buildings, or, you know, these centers where they basically rent out office space, and they have a great big sign, welcome. Unfortunately, you have to wear pants here. I mean, I get it. It's a joke, but I think we need to be serious. And speaking about being serious, you know, sometimes people's blunders, and whether they're just or not, people are horsing around, or maybe it's just their lack of experience, or a variety of things could lead to catastrophes, Marcus. And I'm talking about Zoom. I'm talking about any other virtual platform that you could have a meeting on. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that these little bloopers or jokes or messages or images suddenly might get back to their manager. And then they might just receive an email or a phone call that says the words, Marcus, you're fired. And when they ask, what did I do? You don't know what you did? Not really sure. Well, maybe you should have been a little more professional on the Zoom call. And I think there's a point where we need professionalism. But I think if somebody honestly makes a mistake, Marcus, I don't think that's grounds for someone to be fired. So if someone goofs up, I get it if it's unintentional, right?
Right.
But when somebody does something that's intentional, that's a problem. And what's happening is that lots of the executives at these large firms buy workplace collaboration software, ranging from unsettling to, they claim, embarrassing to hilarious. So I think it comes down to people's dry humor.
Yeah.
And they actually have a word for it. They call it the caturney. And they're now looking back at laughs and being tuned into these action figures. And Zoom call blunders can be hazardous not only to your health, but to the safety of your career. Did you know that nearly 1 in 4 executives have fired a staffer for slipping up during a video or audio conference?
Well, that says a lot about just, who you can really, play with and who you cannot. It really is becoming something that is going to become a lot more alarming, especially if we stick with this remote work environment. You're going to find a lot of people losing their jobs.
And the funny thing is, Marcus, this wasn't this strict when people were going to work.
No, it's not. It wasn't.
This is becoming so much more, I'm going to say, intrusive.
Yeah.
And one of the jokes was the Zoom call etiquette. When your human is on a Zoom call, whisper instead of barking. Now, that might sound kind of funny, but that might be a little bit too over the line.
Yeah. Yeah, it can. Yeah, it can be. Some people can take things to offense. Quite easily. And again, when we are behind the computer, we've been trained that the computer means work time automatically.
I think what it comes from, Marcus, is not so much the person, but it's the actions they take to try to be funny. So one person put a cat gif up on the screen. Now, we're not seeing them put naked people on the screen yet, quote unquote. But, I mean, how far are these people going to go? And are they doing this because their minds are just, like, shot? I think we got to cut some people a little slack.
Yeah, it would be great if we could have people just give a little leniency, and also if it becomes an issue, maybe have a counselor session with people, and
I don't think it's grounds to be fired on like your first out. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
But people are seeing this, Marcus, as a very serious thing. And I think they're just using it as an excuse to fire people. So the message, ladies and gentlemen, is that if you're working for a company and you're home or you're at the office and you're going to be meeting with other people, then make sure you're on your best behavior. And it's not the time for jokes. Now, I also want to tell you that I'm talking about companies and corporations. This also can happen in the private sector world. You own a company, and suddenly your clients might fire you because you did something that was inappropriate. So it's not just restricted to employers and employees. It's also in the realm of vendor and clients. That's a whole other can of worms, isn't it?
That is. Yeah. Because then it hit in your pocketbook.
Yeah, and I think right now everyone is just looking for ways to cut back. And to be honest, Marcus, they're looking for ways to fire people. Because if they find a legitimate way to fire someone, well, then that kind of lets them off the hook. Maybe they don't have to pay unemployment then. Who knows?
Yeah, that's another thing that comes into play too.
And speaking about play, Google's playing around too. They're pushing back their Office return again.
Well, if we
We
look
knew
back,
this was going to happen.
yeah,
We knew this was going to happen. We said this about a month ago.
yeah. If you had a glass ball, and you told these future predictions, we could call you Prophet John.
They're now going to welcome workers back, Marcus, in January 2022, just like all the other big giants.
Yeah.
They were planning to open in October, I guess, and have some Halloween cake and a jack-o'-lantern, but now that's off the table.
Yeah.
And most companies now have a vaccine mandate for employers and for vendors. We said this before, Marcus, this is not going away overnight.
No,
I think we're looking at least probably another 16 to 22 months minimum.
Yeah. We always knew it would run well into 2022. So we shouldn't be surprised, because there's still a lot of things that's been canceled into 2022.
Yeah, they're not just being postponed anymore. They're getting canceled.
Yes.
Tell me that's not pathetic.
No, it's not.
And I get it, Marcus, if there's a reason, okay? But if there's no reason, let's stop making up these mammoth excuses, right?
Yeah.
Well, Apple's doing it again. They're really igniting the power on their new watch health tech. So Apple wants to get your whole health thing down pat. They're adding the smartwatch tools by the end of this year to track your blood pressure per minute. And the Wall Street Journal, and I quote, is citing anonymous sources. It's an attempt to do for health what the iPhone did for cameras, flashlights, and other devices by housing them all in one small computer. I don't know if I agree with that.
No, I don't either.
So Apple's planning these new futuristic changes for the medical, as what they're stating. Blood pressure, a wrist thermometer to help with, get this, fertility, and to track fevers and sleep apnea, and alerts for low blood oxygen, and maybe one day they're saying it's going to detect diabetes digitally.
Wow.
So the Apple Watch 8, in case you're wondering, it may launch this new fertility thermometer along with the blood pressure monitoring system. And this new functionality is going to bring the Apple Watch back on par, because you and I both know that I don't have a desire to own an Apple Watch. The only way I'm getting an Apple Watch is so I can do an unboxing for my show. But is it something I want to wear every day? Heck no.
Yeah, it's just one more annoying thing to have to worry about, not losing.
Exactly. And how much will the new Apple 8 watch cost, do you think?
I'm guessing 999.99.
Well, here's the thing. This is the funny part about this.
Yeah.
The price tag on this, okay, is being set on a per month basis.
Wow.
Yes.
So they want to keep you locked in.
Well, it's going to be like, they don't tell you how long it's going to be, though.
Yeah.
So when we talked about the flagship iWatch technology, the iWatch was around $399 to $429. And they're still boosting the Watch 6, but the Watch 6 isn't going to have the same technology as the Watch 8.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in case you were wondering what that watch costs, because we have pricing on that watch, there's lots of different prices you can pay. You can start at $399, and they say it's only $1,662 for 24 months with the International Collection Sport Loop. And they're all pretty much the same price. And then if you want to go to the gold aluminum case with braided solo loop, it's only $449 or $18.70 a month. They're trying to get people comfortable in spending, this extra money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you can jump all the way up to $449 a month for only $18.70, and then you can jump up again if that's not enough for you. You can jump up to a watch that's. You ready for this one? Better sit down for this. This watch is in the Hermes series. Okay, and they start as low as only $51.20 per month for a nice ticket price of $12.29 plus tax. It's 24 months. And if that wasn't enough for you, they have one at $58.29 at $13.99 plus tax. So interesting where they're going with this.
Yeah, I'll be thrilled to see what.
So they have not really launched an 8-watch 8 price yet. But if I had to guess, if it's because again they have different categories of how it is, the band and things like that. I would say it's probably going to be somewhere around $500-$600 is my guess.
I think that's a pretty fair guesstimate at that price range. And just one question, John. How concerned should we be about our data and dealing with a product like this?
You knew that was running through my head. I really don't trust this. Not only because of Apple, but I don't trust that some of the device doesn't exist now or won't be created or invented to capture all this data from this phone. So let's just say that this iWatch 8 was monitoring your blood pressure or monitoring your medicine intake or something. And suddenly the app gets changed or something else gets changed to a remote device that provides medicine to you.
Mm-hmm.
All because data got interfered with. That's pretty scary. So I'm not in love with this concept, Marcus. Not in love with it at all. So I'll probably get one. I'll unbox it, talk about it, and I'll probably never wear it. It'll be just one of those fads that's a business expense. It'll just sit in the closet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's definitely going to, be a very interesting thing. When you think about all the things that you can do with your regular watch, and now the fact that, you have this watch and everyone thinks it's going to be a game changer. And I believe it is going to be a game changer. But I don't think anyone in life is really going to win anymore with the iWatch 6, the 8, or no iWatch. I don't think it's going to have an impact on someone's success.
No, I don't either. And just looking at like where we are right now in society and with the overload of different tech, it doesn't really seem like it plays a big play right now in the way the world's moving.
Yeah, it's the way it's moving, and people are so focused on winning, and they're so focused on getting the latest fad because they think it's going to give them the cutting edge. But speaking about cutting edge and speaking about winning, our sponsor, Everyone Wins Foundation. That's EVERY One Wins Foundation. So what they do is they give both the recipient and the donor the tools so that everyone wins. But how do they actually do that? Well, that's an excellent question. So as a charity, they have an online fundraising platform to provide the exposure needed to promote the story to the world about your event. And here's the best part, Marcus. It's completely free to register and start raising funds for your charity. Now, many other online platforms that we might have seen before are different, and they actually ask for money and to forward that money. Well, if Everyone Wins, they don't forward any money to a recipient, only products and services. So there's no real worry about money being stolen because the only thing really being sent is a wish list. That's what it is, a charity wish list. And so the donors know exactly how their generous donation is being spent, accountability and transparency. So if you are really looking to make an impact at your next charity event for your 501c3 organization, and you want to get the things that people need, but you don't want to have to be hampered down with the money and worrying about the accountability of where the money is, check out Everyone Wins. That's EVERY, the number one, WINS.org. And you can find them right online in any of your browsers and check them out. Like I said, what do you have to lose, Marcus? It's completely free, and you can start raising funds for your charity. I mean, how good is that?
That's awesome, John.
So check out everyonewins.org. And once again, we want to thank you very much for your sponsorship and for all you're doing for many of the 501c3s and other charities out there. You know,
I might head over there now, John.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that too. We got to finish the show first. You better stay with me first, all right? You can go after as soon as we finish. But, I got to tell you, Facebook, we talk about Facebook all the time.
Yes.
They take away features. I don't find, Marcus, that they're as effective as an advertising platform. I'm not sure if you agree or disagree, but I just don't think they're really giving you the best for your buck anymore.
No, I really don't. I think they have played so many games without the algorithms, and then also with just making you compete with so many other people. It doesn't really seem really effective.
And the thing that I think is really interesting, Marcus, is that when you think about how you could spend a little bit of money and get a lot of results, now I noticed that the same amount of money gets spent, but I don't seem to get a lot of results. So their algorithm seems to spend my money faster.
Yes.
But I don't feel like I'm really reaching a target. And I'll be honest with you, do I throw some money at it? Once in a while, but not more than 10 or 25 bucks on a campaign. I just don't think it's worth what it was before. I think something needs to change with Facebook. Be honest with you, I think the whole company needs to be restructured because I think it's just a mess. I mean, what they're doing, and there's no real consistency to anything. And now let's talk about something new they're doing. So Facebook is now no longer requiring you to go to Messenger anymore for Facebook video or audio. All right, that's nice. But how does that help me as a consumer, as a business owner? What does that do for me? Absolutely
it's nothing, and it's going to confuse everyone. It's like you said, the inconsistencies here, and this company is just all over the place because they think just because they're big, they can do whatever they want.
That's the problem with a lot of these tech mammoth giants online. They believe they don't have to follow the rules. That is a real problem. But speaking about Facebook and rules, Texas is getting a little bit upset because they're about to pass a new law banning Facebook from censoring conservatives.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow is right. They're taking one step in the direction to proclaim a law that's going to make it more difficult for social media companies to moderate political content. Now, this is both the Texas House and the Senate, and they have both approved the bill earlier this past week, and they're sending it to the government, to Greg Abbott's desk for final approval right now.
Yeah, so I mean, just thinking back to like when you had your own issues with with some of the things that you posted, but it was nothing. You said nothing offensive whatsoever, and
it didn't cause anybody to feel hurt. It was just exposure, and I didn't defame anybody, nothing like that. But because somebody got jealous that I was getting traction, they reported me falsely and said I was doing something wrong. And then Facebook just didn't even bother to check it out. They just blocked me.
Yeah.
And the thing that I don't like about them, Marcus, regardless of how big they are, I don't like the fact that they don't bend over to say, I'm sorry. They make a mistake. It's a mistake. Slap on the wrist. They don't even say they're sorry.
Yeah, there's obviously no customer service in place at all. Customer service is non-existent.
Customer what?
Yeah, I don't even think they know what that means in their headquarters.
Customer who?
Yeah, there's no customer.
The person that pays the money, the advertiser. That's the only customer they care about, Marcus.
Right.
They don't care about you or I that aren't spending, and they don't care about my $25. In fact, the minute I dropped below several $100, they took me out of that free advertising assistance program. And all that is a program to get you to pay more money, and they rip you off with some person from one of these companies like Accenture that knows nothing about your business but just says this one thing. Well, you need to increase your budget. Well, why? No, because you have to increase your budget, maybe double or triple. Well, why? Well, no, because we've been doing this one. How long have you been working for Facebook? Oh, a little time. A month, 2 months, a week, 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks. Okay, that's what I thought. So this new bill that we're talking about here in Texas would make it unlawful for social media companies with more than 50 million users like Facebook and Twitter to censor users and content based on political views or geographic location. This includes moderation actions like banning, deplatforming, or demonetizing users and removing posts. So this is not designed for you or I.
No.
This is designed so that if you or I post something and has to do with Texas, Facebook or Twitter can't touch it with a 10-foot pole, or they're going to be slapped. It's almost like a restraining order.
It is.
Order. That if they do the wrong thing, well, they're going to find themselves in jail, or they're going to have themselves a nice little financial present.
I think more states should get on board with something like this, because it's quite obvious that like the federal government, backed out of its chance to jump on board a long time ago after being in bed with Facebook and Twitters and,
Exactly. The only one I have to tell you that really doesn't seem to play this game, I'm always very partial to LinkedIn. I mean, it's more of a professional network. I won't say they're all 100% great, but I have to tell you, I at least agree with the ideals of LinkedIn.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like there is they don't make things clear about what their rules are. But they are very fair. Like I told you what happened about a week or two ago. There was a lady that tagged onto my post. Okay, I figured that's fine. Not only did she tag onto my post, she says she's a realtor. All right, I'm still not bent out of shape. Then she says she has 3 open houses this weekend. And here's the address to them. I thought that was a little below the belt. I clicked on the little button, anonymously report. In 5 to 10 minutes, I got an email, Dear Mr. Morley, we will investigate the situation immediately. And if we find out that they are in violation of the LinkedIn terms of service condition, you can rest assured the post will be removed and they'll be dealt with. Within 24 hours, I got an email, Dear Mr. Morley, we have investigated the situation. Thank you very much for notifying us, and have indeed found that the post did violate the LinkedIn terms and service conditions and has been removed, and the person has been reprimanded. Thank you for your anonymous report. So I think the problem with LinkedIn, I don't know if I told you this, I had 100, I still have people that are commenting us. I have over 120 people that posted on a comment I made last week.
Yeah.
125 people. And you know all I said, Marcus? I said something very interesting. I said LinkedIn is a platform.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to make a connection, that's not a right. That's a privilege.
It is. Totally.
And people abuse it. Do you know I had 3 people jump down my throat? 3 people out of 125. The other 123 people thought what I said was amazing. I had people come up with all kinds of comments, racist comments, all kinds of things.
Wow.
Marcus, there was no place for any of that. I had one guy come to me, he says, so that's how you're treating us. I said, sir, I said, I'm not treating anybody any way. I said, I have a very strict policy, no stigma, no discrimination for race, sexual orientation, religion, color, creed. Oh, okay, we're good. He comes back. He says, "Well, your post didn't clarify that." Or he came to me. He says, "You know what?" He says, and this is what he said to me. And I welcome everyone, race, religion, color. Comes back to me, says to me, he says, "Your photo's racist." This was another post. Says, "Can I ask why?" He says, "Yes." He says, "You intentionally left a black person out of the photo." I said,
What?
"No, we didn't." I said, he says, "I know that photo." I said, "We cropped it." He says, "Yes, you cropped it right out where the person was." I said, "We cropped it for space." I will make sure next time we post a photo that it has every color of person in there. I could not believe this. This was a reverend too, Marcus.
Oh my goodness.
And I apologized. He said, no, we're all good. He said, "We're good. Have a good day. You can go away." He chastised me for like 10 minutes. And I apologized to him. And I didn't mean anything. He said, no, I guess we're all good. There was no need for
We're all
that.
good. Wow. And it wasn't. Totally, it's totally ridiculous. People are very triggered nowadays.
He says, "Well, just be a little more mindful when you post something that you include all the races." Okay, I just... He goes back, "Are you saying, we can't do that?" I said, "I'm not saying anything. It was a post to show some people at an event. That's all it was." And I said to him, there were some Spanish people. He said, "Yeah." He says, "But you forgot the colored people in there." I said, "I didn't forget anything. We didn't have the room." He said, and then he comes back and says, "That's a likely excuse." And then after he chastises me for 5 more minutes, he's like, "All right, we're all good. Just be mindful of this the next time." There's not gonna be a next time because I'm not talking.
No, he definitely earned his way out of your life.
He got blocked.
Yeah, that's what I mean by that.
Yeah, he anybody that's gonna try to now I put in all my because I do lots of stuff. Not only do I do the LinkedIn, the Facebook, by popular demand, people have been asking me to do Instagram. So I now create a John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur Instagram channel for those people that want that. But I think some people are just a little nuts.
Yeah.
And what I say now on there is, hey, I appreciate your constructive feedback. Always looking to learn from each other. However, if your intent is to get to talk with me so you can connive me into buying one of your products or services, please stop, because I'm going to block you. And I remember this one guy, he posts something, Marcus, and I said, he posts something about something with self-improvement.
Mm-hmm.
I came back and I gave him an answer, and he says, "Well, if that triggered you, you need a coach." I said, "I was just being polite and responding to your comment." He says, "Well, you must have responded to it for a reason." Yeah, I was just trying to agree with your point and explain to people that they need this. So you need a coach then.
And you got that out of all of that.
I now, you know what? I don't even want to respond to some of these freaking people.
No, this is weird times.
Well, speaking about weird times,
yeah,
Twitter's launching new super follow on iOS.
That's even more weird.
Yeah, so we talked about this. It's now launching it. They're starting to roll out super follows. It's a new feature that lets users charge for subscriber-only content. So creators can set their tweets to go out to super followers only. So what does that mean? It means that your content will only go out to people that pay you.
You know what that almost sounds like? It sounds like a recipe for trouble, because we know what happened with OnlyFans, and there's still some content on Twitter that's not getting blocked.
So they tested this out in February, and now they're ready to roll it out to the masses. I think it's a bad move.
I think it's very dangerous.
I think it's really very dangerous. But I have one other topic that's up my sleeve that I can't leave without saying before we wrap up. And that is my good friend Elon Musk and his new innovations. So the Musk reveals the Tesla bot.
Yeah, I heard of this.
And it's supposed to be like a human. They plan to have a humanoid robot prototype ready next year, and they want to create a 56 kg machine that isn't super expensive, 56 kilograms to the retail. The commercial application of the planned robot is to replace human jobs. Musk himself finds boring, like ones working in factories. But this is something very interesting. And this is going to come, and I've got to give credit to this gentleman, Wayne Phelps, who will be a guest on our show in about another month or so. And that's the 4Ds that robots perform.
Mm-hmm.
And, the 4Ds of robotization, okay? You know what that is? Dull, dirty, dangerous, and dear. So a job that a human doesn't want to get his or her hands involved in. Maybe checking sewer pipes or checking electrical lines or doing something in a monotonous way over and over and over again. That's pretty interesting. I wonder how much that's going to cost.
Well, he's definitely aiming at trying to make it inexpensive. So, he's looking at potential upside of getting these things in some plants. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some pretty hungry corporations that would love to have them.
Yeah, the question, though, is it going to kill jobs, though, Marcus? That's my concern.
Yeah, that's the
first version. He says it's going to cost as much as about $50,000. When it reaches the demand price, it'll be around $2,000 to $3,000 per robot. But they believe that the Tesla bot is going to have different software you're going to be paying for. Now, get this. You may pay $10,000 a month or so for the ability to search for people in a house on a fire. At the end, you might pay $2 a month for the ability to pick a dandelion. So it sounds to me like they're going to give you a computer, but the computer is not going to have a lot of its features enabled.
Get to pick what you want.
You get to pick what you want, and you get to pay what you want.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how he's just, he always starts another company. It's interesting, though, that he has like another company he wants to start. This is what's a little fascinating to me.
Yeah.
That he wants to do something like this. And I think where he's going is great, but I think we have to put some understanding to where these robots are going to be and what they're going to do.
Yeah, and that's something that many can speculate about, and I think one of the big concerns of like all humans is when it comes to AI and robots is it's just the fear of of not knowing what they're going to do, because we're just consumers of them. We're not users of them.
Yeah, so I think what's going to happen is he's going to go after factories first. I then see that these robots are probably going to be leased out on a per hourly basis to perform tasks. So let's say you're a robot owner and you own 10 or 100 robots. Well, you could then lease them out to do services. I almost see it like replacing like the handyman industry.
Yeah.
And he wants people to own these robots because then there'll be maintenance on them, there'll be warranty, there'll be software, there'll be updates, and that's a constant cost.
Yeah.
And there's things on these robots that we learned are going to break down. And as they make a robot that's less money, well, we all know a car doesn't last forever. So is a robot going to last forever? No. But I have a hunch our friend Mr. Bezos, I just have a hunch we might see him. He might pop in and decide he wants to build the Amazon bot. Yeah. They're like two kids in a sandbox that can't get along. They just fight.
I think that's when it gets dangerous then, because, one might have a good robot, and the other one might be building a robot based, driven off of ego. And
yes.
And this can get pretty ugly.
Yeah, and I think people don't understand, the implications about the fact that you have to put time into making a robot. You can't just snap your fingers and it's going to be built.
Yeah.
It takes time. It'll take time. I know that more and more people, as we think about technology and we think about evolving, there's a lot of people that don't want to adopt. They don't want to adopt. But I still see the biggest challenge of our world, Marcus, and I'll say it again, I've said it many times, companies like the L and the other companies, they provide a service, but their people are not in the U.S. Now, I have nothing against that they're not in the U.S. What I have against them is that they hire people that don't actually know how to perform their task. We have people like that in the United States. So it's not just over there. They just seem to have a big, plentiful pot of them. The best way to explain this is if you think of some kids in high school. And not irrespective of their age, but the culture is different. I had a gentleman who worked for me for a while, and suddenly he told me he doesn't want to work anymore. So what do you mean? Well, I got money for what I want to buy. I don't need to work anymore. And he decides he's not going to go to college. I don't know, Marcus. It's very different. Yeah. They don't have a work mentality.
Yeah.
And it's not because of age. It's because of the culture that they grew up in. I don't know what happened this last generation, but it's like they don't want to work. And you ask them to do something simple like throw out the trash. And if you don't tell them every piece that they have to throw out, oh, I didn't know you want me to throw the box out too. All the trash. Oh, well, you didn't say that. I said, yeah, throw out the trash in the other room. Oh. Well, did you want me to throw it out now? Well, yes. Okay, well, I'm actually getting ready to leave in 5 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do it all. I'm just like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? Oh, but I could do it tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Just go. Just go. You sure? Oh, I'm very sure. And I think that's what makes things a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
We get people in our internship program a lot of times. We get a lot of good people. But we get some people, they interview them, and then you give them a date they're going to start. I had one that was going to start this week, and I called the person up to confirm. He's like, oh, I think my schedule changed. Well, you're on our calendar to start on Friday. Yeah, my schedule changed. Were you going to let us know? Well, I would, but my schedule changed. What is it to call somebody and tell them that you're not interested in the program? The work ethic is just so different, Marcus.
It is. It's definitely set up. The mentality is kind of set up for these robots to come in, almost.
And the thing about the way the millennial generation works is that they're not about money. they're very similar to my belief, which is that we want to make things better. But they have this attitude stuck so far up somewhere that they just don't want to be a team player. You know, I see this with people that are just a little bit younger than me.
Mm.
They have this attitude that, you know, if one thing is not in alignment, well, they suddenly are busy. I had somebody cancel an appointment later this week. Said, "Oh, well, my week got really busy. So, do you have time next week?" And I was just like, "Yes." And I give them the times, and I don't fight about it. I don't get crazy. I'm like, "Okay, no problem." But it makes me wonder that people have this kind of mentality. I don't know why it is. They just don't have respect for the culture and for people in it. They have this station, Marcus, WIIFM. What's in it for me? And who can I screw to make sure I get the raise? What can I do to make sure I get the most money? That's not right.
No, it's not.
But it's still happening today.
Yeah.
It's still happening today. And I just wish people would have an understanding for others and also understand that everyone is in a melting pot and they all need to kind of work together. But if you don't work together, then you can have problems.
Yep.
The other big challenge I think that's going to happen in our world with technology is going to be the medical challenge of home monitoring and the whole idea of the doctor going away and it becoming all virtual visits.
Yeah.
Now, this was coming way before COVID. It had nothing to do with COVID. But an interesting thing happened, Marcus, when we talked about China. China would not reveal anything to the investigation to the U.S. and would not help them. But yet, they claim that it was the United States that caused it, which they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of mudslinging and name throwing. That's all I can just relate with this. It's a very different world. I think people have to understand that there's a common courtesy and a respect. And if you can't at least have that courtesy, I mean, I don't know, I'm speechless because I think people, they have to learn that courtesy. They have to learn that courtesy. Well, we're just about at the top of our hour here with another great show, with us being in the first Friday, of September. And can you believe that Monday's going to be Labor Day weekend?
Yeah. Boy, another holiday coming up, and what do you do?
You know, I think the most important thing is that, and I've said this before, you have to focus on what you want to do.
Yeah.
And if there's other people on your chessboard and they're in your way, well, you're going to have to move around them. Well, you know, I don't say you got to replace them, but you're going to have to work around them until you find people that are going to work with you. Because I feel that there's just going to be a lot of opponents out there that are supposed to be on your team, but they're not really on anybody's team. They're not on offense and not on defense. Like, what side are you playing on? Like what are you doing? Are you on this side, this team, or are you on that side, or are you throwing the ball, or are you catching the ball, or are you on? Oh, I don't know. And you got to at least know your plan. You really do.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Well, before we do wrap up, I do want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Everyone Wins Foundation. Again, that's EVERY, the number one, WINS.org. So if you have a charitable organization and you're looking for a new way to get donations, whereby you don't have to deal with money being collected, all they do is they collect the money and they provide the products to you, which is even better because you don't have to go buy anything. This is perfect if you're doing like a Toys for Tots or something like that. And the best part of it is they're accountable, there's complete transparency, and everyone's going to win. So go check them out. It's EVERY, the number one, wins .org. And the best part of all is it's completely free to start raising funds for your charitable organization. Well, we have had another great show. And if you have an idea for a show, go to jmor.com. Let us know about that idea under the reach out area. And if you have an idea for a product you want us to unbox, let us know. If we're interested, we'll let you know. You could send us the product prepaid, donate it to us. We'll do an unboxing and a review. Be sure to check out all of our other channels like JMOR Reviews channel, JMOR Unboxing channel, previous JMOR Tech Talk shows, and check out many of my other motivational channels that are around. It has been another great show, Marcus. It's been great being with you, and I just wish everyone a very happy, healthy, and of course a safe Labor Day weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Put a hot dog or a steak on the barbecue for me, and I'll be over. No A1 sauce, just a regular thing with a little marinated sauce on would be perfect. And if you want to put a baked potato on there, would be great. If it not too much to ask, maybe a homemade apple pie with some ice cream would be great. But if you can't do that, I'll be happy with a hot dog or something.
You're getting me hungry, John.
Well, we got to say goodbye, everyone. Happy Labor Day, everyone. And we will see you soon. Hope you guys enjoyed all the great sun we had today. It was like the only day of the week we had sun. So we'll be back next Friday night, same time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on September 10th. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow morning for our pod show at 10 a.m.
Central.
10 a.m. Central and 11 a.m. Eastern time. So check that out and see many of our shows that were put into a condensed format for our podcast. And we will see you next week with another great show. Have a great Labor Day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the JMOR Weekly Technology Show, where we answer your questions about how technology is supposed to work and sometimes why you have challenges getting it to work that way. For more IT support and tips, just text IT support to 888-111. That's IT support to 888-111, and you'll get tips on technology. I'll see you next week right here on the JMOR Tech Talk Show. Remember, JMOR.com.